Does your Ross sound like this most of the time? Anyways, here I am back at Ross. This is going to be a video. It's going to be a few Ross stores. And I'm just going to show you as I'm walking around the last couple of days before Christmas, noticing that the shelves are kind of getting pretty empty in most places. There wasn't a whole lot to see. Now, on this one right here on the pegs, you can see there's still some action figures hanging around, but it's pretty much the same thing we've been looking at every time we walk in here. It's the same Marvel Legends. It's same one. So $5.99 is still too expensive. Got some McFarlane's back there. Got those retros that are still hanging out. On the end cap here, where I was hoping we were going to run into something, we just did not see really anything new that we haven't seen in the weeks ahead of time. Now, they did throw a whole bunch of Squishmallows up here on the back wall, and that is probably because they got a deal, and they're big, and they take up a lot of space that would normally just probably be barren. Now, we are finding some stuff that was kind of hidden in the background, but it's out here now because it's not hidden by the piles and piles of stuff. So you can see all the extra tables that they had set up, and it's really thinning out in here. So there's not a whole lot. You still got that Battle Cat hanging around. You got like some odds and ends. Now it's looking like the toys that Ross would normally have around this time. Now, here are those shelves that are set up, and you can see over there on the end, I'm going to walk about them in a minute. You can still see they got some of those Thor's hammers hanging around. Looks like there's 4 of them there. And these tables right here look like they just have odds and ends and probably like the regular stuff that they would normally have around this time of year. None of the action figures that we've really been seeing. A lot of Transformers are still hanging out. There's a Battle Cat. We got Masters of the Universe there, but that's an animated one from the show. So not really like highly sought after because it's not the Motu line at all. But you can see... yeah, everything is thinning out. I remember walking through the store and you couldn't grab something off of a shelf without everything seeming to like fall over. Now, plenty of those swords, if you want to get a whole bunch of them and have all your kids doing like sword fights out in the yard, that would actually be pretty cool. Got a lot of different stuff though here still, even though it is looking pretty thin. If you look through it, there's probably some things in here that you might be interested in taking home with you at the bargain prices. Check that out. Man, it's just crazy because those shelves were packed. Like days ago, they were just packed and packed. But now you can actually see the shelf. We still got this G.I. Joe here. That's $5.99. That's still way too much. And then got the Transformers here. Those are pretty cool. So here is an end cap. It doesn't have much on there. It's just kind of barren there. I did take another walk around these other shelves. I was hoping to find some more of those Universal Monsters, but let's just take a look at this. This is that Castle Grayskull. It is $24.99. That's a pretty good deal if you want a play set, even if it's not like a Motu. So I did find these. These were those Hasbro Dungeons and Dragons figures from the movie. They had plenty of those, and look at that, a Return of the Jedi Admiral Akbar on card back. That was like lingering around. And then this Power Ranger set was pretty cool. So I thought I'd show that off before we move on to the next store that we went and visited. And you can see these shelves are really packed. You can see there's nothing on those lower shelves. Got a few Transformers here. Got that same, the Flash figure. Got that regular type of stuff that you would normally see. Not seeing a whole lot of like action figures. I'm seeing those Dungeons and Dragons figures kind of like lingering about. These shelves were full of toys a week ago, and this end cap right here stuff was just falling off of this thing. So anyways, let's just take a look around. This is where we found those Viper 3-packs a few weeks ago, and pretty much nothing is left. I think there was like a retro one sticking in there somewhere. It's kind of crazy too because in the store the line is super long right now, and it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning. The end cap here is just barren. There's nothing going on here. You got some Jurassic Park there. Let's see, check that out. $5.99. You can't even give those away at $5.99. Now, what I did find interesting on this shelf here is you could see there's another Zamet, and right behind is that Akbar, and right behind that is a Rogue One figure, $5.99. That's pretty cool because I did not have that guy. Now it's just whether or not I want to stand in that line. So anyways, we took a look around, went around to the different section where they had some more toys. Then they started filling their empty shelves with Squishmallows, of course, back there. And they do have some pegs at the back wall. So let's go take a look at those really quick. Yep, we got the pegs back here, and not a whole lot going on here. You do have some vintage collection still hanging out and stuff like that, but no new figures. Now, I never found a Crocmaster in any of these stores or anything like that, so that's what kept bringing me back. So we did have these shelves over here, which used to have a whole bunch of Legends and McFarlanes and stuff like that, but really had pretty much nothing up here. Really that I was interested in. Now, somebody did kind of set up that top shelf here to make it look like they were looking through it, and there's some McFarlanes and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool. And in this store, they had these tables set up, and they were just loaded with stuff at one time. There's nothing on there. They're throwing skateboards up there now. You got a lot of stuff just like hanging out. Not much going on. Look at that. More Dungeons and Dragons figures. That's kind of cool that they're starting to show up, but that's pretty much all they have. Now, I did find some book section, but I never found any of these books that I was told about. So, oh, look at that. A Toonie dude. That was the Teen Wolf one. There's an end cap back here, but pretty much not a whole lot going on. Got a couple of barbecues hanging on the shelf there. And yeah, the stores are just looking pretty barren at this point. Couple of days before Christmas, looks like everything has kind of been bought out and they just don't have anything to stock. So I'm hoping they get some restocks after Christmas. We'll see how long this toy bazaar will continue. So we still got some Micro Machines, I think, Transformer stuff. And then check that out. We got Tomax and Zaymot together. This is pretty much the first time I ever seen both of those in a store at the same time. So that was kind of cool. Down here, you can see you got more of those barbecues. Treasure Island. Let's check out these Transformers. Let's just push some aside and take a look at them. That's kind of neat. And this one was up a little bit closer to the front. I did go over to the DD's Discount, which is next door, which is a partner to Ross, and just to check out and see what they have. And it was kind of the same, but they did not have like the action figures and stuff that I've been finding at Ross. So we'll just take a little quick look through them. A lot of this stuff I've found at like Big Lots, which is kind of interesting, especially these things right here. What are they? These G.I. Joe pieces that are coming up right here. They're kind of like snap together models or something like that, almost like a Lego or something like that, but not necessarily Lego. And then when I wandered up to the front of the store, I found that they did have some of these Wonder Woman and with her superpowered pig, which is kind of cool. I didn't find any of the other ones. $5 for that. That's pretty decent. And then they did have some other stuff up at the front. So it's kind of interesting to come in here and just see what they had going on. They had the Squishmallows also. Anyways, I'm going to round out this little toy hunt by just showing you a quick shot of what they had at the front. And thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And have a happy holiday, everybody.